Very good. Yay! Hey, good morning. We are here in Cincinnati, Ohio at the Lori Foster's Reader and Author Get Together. And I'm here with Jennifer McGowan, and she is going to tell us about the books that she's written, and she writes in several genres, so she's going to tell us a little bit about that. So go ahead, Jennifer.
No problem. Well, I primarily write for this conference as Jennifer McGowan. It's a young adult series of books about spies set in Queen Elizabeth's court. The first one is Made of Secrets, and it's basically about a spy, Meg, who picks the wrong pocket, and to pay for her crime, she's forced to work for the Queen for a year. And so it's all about her. She kind of comes from the wrong side of the tracks, so her learning to be a lady and learning to work in the court, as well as trying to solve a crime for the Queen.
And I love the cover.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
beautiful and eye-catching.
Yes, so thank you very much.
We do judge books by their cover.
Well, this is true. This
We
is
can't
true.
help it.
So this actually was my very first published book. It came out in 2013. And since then, however, I have branched off, and one of the reasons why Donna wanted to talk to me was the fact that I have written in several different genres under several different names. So another name that I write under is my actual name, which is Jenn Stark. And this is urban fantasy. It's a story of a woman who reads tarot cards and uses them to help find magical artifacts. And she's going along swimmingly until she encounters the magical underworld of Las Vegas and ends up getting very, very deeply entangled with the magic that happens there. So those are urban fantasies, and they are, actually the series is complete. There's 10 books in this series.
Goodness.
So yeah.
And those are all set in Vegas, is that right?
Well, they start in Vegas. They're
Okay.
actually set all over the world, and I've got a cast
okay.
that's from all over the world. I have the Magician, which is a tarot card. He's also represented as a person. He's from Egypt, and I've got the Devil is from sort of in the Mediterranean. I get yelled at if I say he's from Greece because he's really more Turkish. But and I've got an oracle who's from Greece. I've got people from all over. So yeah, it's very cosmopolitan. A lot of fun. So, and then my third author name is Jennifer Chance, and I write modern royals romance with these. So very contemporary romance, very fluffy, over the top, sweetly romantic with, I'd say, mainstream heat. So these are 3 very different names, and the reason for that is because I started out in young adult, and then when I wanted to transfer to adult, I wanted there to be a real break between those 2 identities so that people didn't get confused and picked up one of my adult books thinking they were getting a young adult.
So did you find it hard to like have to rebuild your brand? So do you feel like you have 3 brands?
I do. I have 3 different websites. Actually, I'm going to be merging my young adult and my Jenn Stark brands into one because I'm actually coming out hopefully with a new book shortly. That's young adult, but under the name Jenn Stark. So I'll be merging that into that brand. So that'll be exciting. But it's difficult to maintain the multiple brands, but I think it's important so that readers know exactly what they're going to get when they pick up your book.
Well, and that's part of our website is we try to help people know what kind of book they're going to get, even from like the heat level or the violence level. Like I struggle with violence, like I can't do torture at all. I've read a couple books where I was traumatized, and so I'm like, I need somebody to read
I don't
these
like
before
persecution
me.
books.
Yes, I can't take
can't do
mine.
it, yeah.
I love a serial killer. I just don't need details. Okay, I just don't.
That's
want
right,
the
just
details.
off screen.
Exactly, off screen. Close the door.
Right.
So tell us a little about this Gowns and Crowns series.
Yes.
Like, have you had a lot of popularity after Harry and Meghan?
Right. No, it's so funny. Whenever there's some royals news, there's always more interest in the book, and it's because these are set in a fictional kingdom where you have American women who go on vacation and get entangled with a royal family, which happens, of course. And now with Meghan, it has happened. So so it's been a lot of fun to kind of follow the royal wedding and do everything along with that.
Did you watch it that morning?
I did not watch it that morning. I watched the clips. I actually had a conflict that morning. I was so upset, but I watched the clips and of course the endless coverage and all of the clothes and all of the hats.
Yes.
And it was such a beautiful day.
Yeah,
So,
it was. It
yeah.
was beautiful. Okay, sorry. I'll go back to our series. So, tell us a little bit how you got started in your ideas around the Elizabethan spy series. Like, I love that.
Right. Yes. Actually, I was an Elizabethan scholar when I was in college, and which essentially meant that I did a lot of research on Queen Elizabeth, and I absolutely fell in love with her. I think she was such an amazing figure. She was only 25 when she ascended to the crown, and she's remained on the crown until her death in. So she came to power in 1559 and she died in 1603. But at that time, it was the longest monarch that had ever reigned, and she was female. There was nothing written about her in the first year of her reign because they all expected her to either get married or die, or be killed. And so, but yeah, so I just became entranced with her, and so when I decided to start writing, I thought, what a wonderful person to use as a central figure in these books, and then the stories came along. One quick note, the stories actually came from one line in a letter that one of her courtiers wrote, which said, everybody's upset with Queen Elizabeth because she knows things that nobody has told her, but she's right. And they didn't know how she was getting her information because they had everything very locked down. And so I thought, who better to get information for a queen than a young woman, because at that point in history they really weren't paid much attention to. They were just sort of in the shadows, looking pretty but not actually doing work.
Oh, I love
so
it.
There you go.
So some good, strong females.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. I have a spy, I have a socialite, I have a young woman who is actually the niece of the Queen's astrologer, and they're expecting her powers to build. I have a genius, and I have an assassin.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the series I'm starting first. So what would you say the biggest surprise after, being a writer? Like, what has been your biggest surprise after, like, being a full-time author?
I would say probably the best surprise that I've gotten is that I can make a living to doing this. I worked in corporate for many years, and I always had some writing on the back burner, but knew I wanted to return to it. And then once I got published, I just kept going and kept working at it and striving to improve and to try new things. And I've been able to do this as a full-time job, and that's amazing. So,
That is. So that leads me, like, any advice to the aspiring authors that we have out there?
Right. And aspiring authors, I actually gave a lot of thought to this because there's so much that you can say to authors, oh, you should read, you should do this, that. I would say keep writing no matter what, because you're going to get discouraged and you're going to get distracted, both from your life as well as all the other books that are out there that everybody else is writing and you're not, and you're thinking, oh, I should try this other thing, or I should write this book that maybe isn't of my heart, but I feel like it's popular, so I should go after it. And all I can say is stay as true as possible to what you truly want to write, and then write the heck out of it. Just keep going, and you will make it. It's an amazing time to be an author. It takes a lot of work and a lot of persistence. I've probably written 20 books in the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, but I'm doing what I love, and so it's worth it.
Wow, that is awesome. We are going to close on that great note, and we're going to head over to Facebook Live. You can check us out there.
Okay.